Alright, so today I'm going to be going over 5 things I hate about my fucking shitbox Corsa C. I'm doing this because it's quite a popular thing to do amongst car YouTubers, and I know that a lot of people get these cars as first cars. A lot of people who don't know much about cars also get these as first cars. So it's just things I wanted to go over that I don't like about it. Don't get me wrong, it's a great car. It was only £600, so I can't complain too much, and it is real fun to drive. But there are 5 things that really just piss me off about this car, and I'm going to list them from 1 being most annoying to 5 being least annoying. So the 5th most annoying thing about the Corsa C is that when you turn on the ignition, the radio comes on no matter what. Like if it was off when you last turned the car off, when you turn it back on, it's coming on. And if it was on, it's coming straight back on again. I've tried to play around with the settings of the car. No matter what I do, the radio comes on no matter what. It pisses me off because the radio's not really in signal anyway, so it just comes on and starts crackling. I never use the radio because I've got a speaker in the car, so it's just annoying. I don't know why they've designed it so it turns on all the time. I don't know why you'd want that anyway. So I just want to rip it out and get rid of it because it really annoys me when that comes on all the time. Alright, the 4th most annoying thing about owning a Vauxhall Corsa C is that to get into the back seat, obviously because it's only a 3-door, you've got to move the front seat out of the way. But in a lot of cars, when you pull the seat forward, it also slides forward on the frame rails. In this car, it doesn't slide forward on the frame rails. So if you've got someone who sits in your passenger seat who's quite tall and the seat's all the way back, when you try to get into the back, you've got no room to step in. This is the gap to step in. You can't even get your foot through. So then you have to put it back, move the seat forward. But then when you want to move the seat forward, if you want to put it forward and you have the sun visor in the way, it scrapes all against the sun visor. So really the whole charade of getting into the back of these things, if you have a 3-door, is a pain in the ass. So if you're planning on getting more than 2 people riding around in this car, you're better off just getting the 5-door because it is a pain to try get into the back of it. The 3rd most annoying thing about having a Corsa C is the rear boot lock. You'd think with a normal boot lock you'd put the key in and you just turn it, but this, you can't turn it. You have to put it in, push this lock in, and then turn it a part of the way, then pull it back out, turn it, and then you can open the boot. The problem with this mechanism is that it just gets jammed all the time. It's a pain, and if you've got the boot unlocked and then you close the boot with the key still in it, it won't lock again. You've got to unlock it and then lock it again and then pull the key out. It's just a really stupid design. I don't know why they didn't just use the same locks that they got on the door for the back. But this whole mechanism where you've got to push it in, I don't know what it's meant to benefit, but it just annoys me because it never really works properly. Alright, so the 2nd most annoying thing about owning a Corsa C is something that probably won't affect most people, especially if you're not into cars or working on cars. But for someone like me, or if you've got a Corsa C with an idle issue, this is going to be a really annoying thing. I had an idle issue with the car, which means the rev limiter wasn't sitting at 1000 RPM where it should be. It was down at about 5000 RPM and revving up. So I thought, oh yeah, I'll just go under the hood, find the throttle body and adjust the throttle cable, because on most old cars, especially cars from this era, the throttle body and the throttle pedal are just controlled by one thin cable that runs between them. So when it gets loose and the idle starts to mess up, you just turn one screw and it fixes it. On this, it's controlled by 2 sensors. I don't even know where they are. I don't even know why it's controlled by that. I think it might be something to do with the mass airflow sensor and something else to do with the fuel injectors. But it's just a real pain in the ass because it means someone who's got a basic knowledge of working on cars like me cannot fix it. You've got to go take it to a mechanic or a Vauxhall specialist, and then they've got to sort it out, or you've got to replace the sensors, which is just a pain in the ass. It'd be a lot easier if Vauxhall just designed it with a throttle, with a cable-driven throttle. Alright, and the most annoying thing about owning a Corsa C, again, might not be something that annoys most people, but it really annoys me. If you want to put this car in reverse, you've got this little clasp under here, which you have to lift up and then move the car over into the reverse gear. The reason this is annoying is because if you want to replace this shifter, you have to get an aftermarket shifter with a wide enough diameter to fit this little reverse clasp here, which not a lot of aftermarket shifters do. A lot of them are thin ones that have a thread on them to put on most cars. So you have to get a Corsa specific shifter, which there aren't many of, which to me is really annoying because I want to change this. And again, with the shifter, it's held on with glue rather than being screwed on, so you can't just unscrew it. It's glued on there and it is a nightmare to get off. I've tried multiple times in the past and I've still never been able to get this off. And all that happens is when you get it off, you just start busting it up like I have there. I can see why they've got this feature. I'll show you. If you take off this right here, there we go. What happens when you lift that clasp up is there's that little plastic clip right there. You lift up the clasp and it removes over this cover here. So it's meant to be a safety feature to stop you putting the car in reverse accidentally. But because this is only a 5-speed car, instead of putting reverse over here, they could have just put it in the 6th gear position and then it would have been just as safe. Because you know it's a 5-speed car, you're not going to shift in 6th gear when you know you don't have a 6th gear. So they could have just put it in the 6th gear position like I had on my MX-5. But yeah, those are 5 things that really annoy me about this car. Like I said at the start of the video, don't get me wrong, a lot of these things probably won't annoy most people, and it is still a good car, especially for the money. On Auto Trader, the average for these cars at the start of 2021 is about £900, and I picked this one up in the mid-2020 for £600. But there are a lot of common issues that you have to be aware of, especially if you're going for that lower price point. So I'm going to be making another video in the future about common problems and common issues to look out for when you're buying a Corsa C. If you guys enjoyed this type of content, let me know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe. If you really like this top 5 thing, I could do another one talking about the 5 things I really like about my Corsa C. But yeah, make sure you subscribe and stay tuned.